Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Franchise Millionaire Show. I am your host, Andrea Bailey Brown, and I'm excited to be back with you. Took a few weeks off the podcast because we started January off very strong, and we started with the National Franchise Show in Toronto, and that in itself is going to be an entire podcast episode on all the mayhem that happened around that show, but yet we came out of that show very successful with lots of new people invested in franchises and franchising their business and actually collabing with us, wanting us to represent their agency. So, what do we do here? I am a multi-unit franchise owner with a brand called Jiffy Lube, an oil change brand. And that's how I learned all the things that I need to know about franchising. It's by actually living it and being in it. And then we operate Bailey Brown, the franchise agency. And that's where we help entrepreneurs to take their concept and turn it into a franchise. We also help entrepreneurs to build wealth by investing in franchises. And then we offer franchise consulting and growth models, etc. So, as I mentioned, the year started off with a bang in Toronto. And we just had a lot of eyes and interest on our agency and our signage, and all of that is just attracting people. And sometimes when you are growing bigger than the rest, faster than the rest, better than the rest, the powers that be get really nervous. So it was our first time sort of experiencing some pushback on some of the things that we do. But in the true sense of entrepreneurship and business, you don't let that stop you. You have to keep going. And yes, if you are running a business or you have something to do that's built on a mission and on a purpose, you are going to keep it going no matter what. And you're not going to just let others stop you. And even when there are obstacles or detours, you just have to find your way around it. So that's how you build a business. One of the other things that kept us busy in January was we were planning our Millionaire planning brunch, and that was at the beautiful Edmonton Country Club. It's just such a great location, peaceful. The parking is great. The ambiance, you're overlooking the river and the city. Like, so many great reasons why I love that location. So I used that location to get a group of people together. It was an exclusive event, a bit smaller, but we love those events because that's how we actually really connect with our potential clients, with people, with current clients as well. And why a planning brunch? Well, we did that because I realized that a lot of people have ideas around franchising their business or buying a business or maybe traveling to Europe and doing all of these things, but they have the ideas, but they don't have the steps that put it into place. And without planning, you really are going to be in at the beck and call of other people's schedule, other people's plan, your children's schedule, husband, spouse, all the things. So we realize that getting people together and setting them up for an intentional year, the path to become a business owner, the path to become successful, the path to weight loss all comes first with some sort of planning. So we really wanted to gather people together for that. So really enjoyable. The food was great. As I said, the ambiance, the people were there. We just had the right people in the room. And sometimes you are in a room because you are meant to be there. And you're also in a room because you invest in yourself in order for you to have some of the results that you want. And the biggest mishap for a lot of people is they think because it's an idea and they mention it once, like they've done all the work, and it doesn't really happen that way. That's not how manifestation really happens. So that's what we did. So one of the things that we had quite a few people at the franchise shows have wanted, they've been asking us about turning their concept into a franchise. And that's something we really haven't spoke about on the show at this point. So I have a feeling like maybe this next series here is going to be about how you take your concept and multiply it. How do you use franchising to expand? How do you grow it? How do you even start the whole process of franchising your business. And it's something I really want you to think about as you are building your company, that you can put the systems in place. And even if in the end you never franchise, you're going to have a better run, better systematized model just by thinking in the franchising way. So let's get started on, can my business be franchised? And what are the things you should be looking at? What should you be considering? If it's a path you want to go down, if you really want to share your business with the world, if you want to potentially grow, but bigger than where you are now, these are some of the questions I would ask you first. And if you say yes to any of those, that expanding and growth and building something bigger, there's a need for what you have in other cities, states, provinces, then yes, this episode is for you. So I am going to focus on a few things that you should be thinking about, expanding on them. And this will be the first part of our series in terms of, can your business be franchised? So one of the things I know is that franchising is a business model that can be thrilling, it can be rewarding, and it offers the potential for significant growth and financial success. It is important, though, to consider whether your business is a good candidate for franchising. And I'm going to say not every business should be franchised, and not everyone should franchise their business. There are some people who are running really strong, successful businesses, and I would encourage those people to go ahead because they've met most of the criteria. And there's some people looking to franchise that are coming in too soon to actually franchise. So there are about 8 questions that we're going to go through that I really think you should consider if you to find out if franchising is the right strategic move for you and for your business. The first one is a really basic question, I would say, and it is, do I have a thriving business? And thriving is a word that means successful. When you're thriving, it means that it doesn't mean like you're just barely getting by. Thriving means that you are running a business that is growing. There's quite a bit of profitability in that business. It means that you have a hands-on experience of managing your customers, managing your team, handling suppliers, and also understanding the competitive landscape. So this is really important because if you have a deep understanding of what makes your business tick and you know what drives your success, you will be better equipped to help other people replicate it or duplicate it. Without this, your success in new locations can be very challenging. Make sure you're asking yourself if you fully understand the ins and outs of your business and do you have firsthand experience with the key aspects of running your business. So let's look at a second question that you should consider as you're looking at this franchising format. And what that is will there be a demand for my products and service? So one of the things you have to make sure is that you are not just riding a trend. So in the marketplace, I've seen like cupcake trends, I've seen cookie trends. So there's a few different trends that I've seen over and over that people will have as they're looking at building their business. All right, so what we're looking at is you have to decide if there is a demand for your products and services and making sure you're not just riding a trend and that it's about ensuring long-term success. So I have seen a few things that are just really trendy for the time being, and you need to know and study the market as to how long that trend will last or when it will fizz out. So there, for example, I know pickleball is a really big thing right now. Some people are looking at franchising those models, making sure that you're also doing your own research to see, should I franchise my business? And if you are also on the franchising end, is this something that I would want to invest in? And how long will that actually last? Demand is really important. And as I was mentioning before, sometimes there's the cookie trend, the cupcake trends, and then they're hot for a while, but you're still left with the franchise after those trends die down. And this is where, as you're building your franchise model, you have to say, just in case this trend disappears, what else can I actually add to it? Um, what else can we keep going? So if you're thinking like about Subway, they started off just with sandwiches, but then they added in breakfast and they added in lunch, like soups, and they're adding different things to make sure that the model continues to grow. Even the best run franchises need a strong customer base to succeed. A business that's not only a hit today, but we're also looking at staying power and having long-term success. So make sure that there will be a demand for your business today, tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So making sure that you're also looking ahead. And so you may have to ask yourself, how does your business stand out from the competition? And do you have a brand that keeps customers coming back? The third question that I would have you consider is that, is your business ready, not to franchise, but are you ready for the commitment required to franchise your business? Franchising your business takes time to gather all your IP, to gather all the knowledge that you have. How do you do certain things? If you have a food business, when you turn the oven on, what does it go to? How long does it have to before, you know, the pie gets baked, right? Like you need to be systematizing everything. And if you only have like a one person show right now and you've never really looked at all the different things that you duplicate and replicate to keep things, to make things work. When you're working with a franchise team, this is where we come in and we're going to be asking you and putting systems in place for you so that you have a business that can be franchised. So let's go back to commitment. And what we mean by the commitment is you need to realize that this will take you maybe for 6 months, 9 months to get every different part of the system ready to go, having the model ready to be sold in all different states, different provinces. And in doing so, you have to make sure that you're providing constant commitment to support franchisees. And in order to do that, you have to build out every part to say, am I committed to the people who are going to invest in my system? I hope your answer is yes, because if you don't have the commitment and the time to train other people who are trusting you with their dollars to buy into your system, then perhaps franchising will not be for you. And that is also okay. So making sure that your franchise network success hinges on the dedication to providing your franchisees with the tools they need, with the support, the resources they need to succeed. And if you have a thriving franchise group, it means that you're going to have a thriving franchise system that will continue to grow. So really, really think about the whole commitment of the time, of the process. And then once your system has been franchised, you now have a whole new job, and that is to find people that want to buy your franchise system. And sometimes I'll tell people that franchising your business is not as hard and difficult as it appears. I think because when you're working with a team that knows step 1, step 2, step 5, 15, then it makes it a lot easier for you, versus if you were trying to go it alone. Sometimes the work really begins once you have franchised, and then you now have to find those franchisees. And that brings us to our next question, which is you have to think about, do I know who my ideal franchisee is? Who is the ideal person that you would want to come in and represent your brand? Because now once you're franchised, what other locations do and what other franchisees do will also have an effect on the entire system. So who is that ideal franchisee? So the first thing you will need to do is you will have to build out your business model. How much is it going to cost? Who is in order for you to find the right person. So there's a natural progression way of doing this so that you are getting a full understanding of the system. Do you want, when you say an ideal franchisee, you have to ask yourself, like, is this person making a certain amount? Do they need to have experience in the business in order to become a franchisee? So if we're looking at some places where like Shoppers Drug Mart, they really like their franchisees to be pharmacists because that's one of the main driving force of the business. So that is a really skilled person to be in. Maybe another one is if you have a restaurant and it's a high-end restaurant, do you need chefs to be in, or do you need people that you can train in order, like a QSR, quick service restaurant, in order to say just to flip the burgers and do that? You don't need any maybe specialized training. You need some training, but is it where anyone can be trained? Similar in say a model like Jiffy Lube. You don't need special skills to learn oil change. Someone can just be trained on the job in order to do that. So you have to build out your ideal franchisee. If you have something like that's a med spa, something kind of higher end, do you need a doctor on site to administer certain, I would say, certain procedures, right? That is going to determine how fast you can grow, how slow you can grow, depending on the requirement that it takes to become a franchisee. If you're able to just train someone off the street or anyone, you're going to be able to grow faster versus needing specialized skills. So definitely with our help and when we work with our clients, these are the things we take them through, like who's likely to be interested in your franchise opportunity. Can you manage multiple new franchisees opening at once? What is your ideal number that you want to grow to? So definitely think about that. The next one is, do I have a solid operational system? And your system needs to be able to work for every franchisee. And a solid system is definitely the backbone of successful franchising. So this includes everything from the look of your franchise. So that way everything looks the same, from design, decor, the signage to reliable operating procedures. A well-documented, easily accessible system ensures consistency and smooth operations across all location. And this is important because, just like when you think about a house, you need a solid foundation. Your franchise needs a reliable system in place to support your franchisee's success. And your franchisees will rely on the system to deliver the same high level of service and customer satisfaction that you have achieved. So whatever you have done to make yourself successful and build your singular or multiple location and you're not ready to franchise it, you are going to need to pass that on to other franchisees as well. So you need to ask yourself if you can ensure a consistent brand appearance across all locations. Do you have reliable systems in place? And when we go through your systems, we'll be able to tell you whether or not your system is reliable or not to move on to the next steps of franchising. And so, which brings us to the next questions, which is, can I effectively train others to use my system? Do you know those people, like they're really good at something and they can do it with their eyes closed, they can do it in their sleep, but then when it comes time for them to actually show other people what they've done, they're like, I don't know, I just do it. And so in every organization, we should be developing SOPs, our operating systems, writing those down, making sure that if someone is gone, you're able to train someone else on it. The systems are there, everything that you're doing. And franchising is the biggest test of that when you're franchising your business. Can you effectively train others to use your system? Another way is like, if you're not there and you're like, this is my system, could someone definitely go through it without your help. One of the, like a simple way when you even think about you go to an ATM machine and it asks you a question, enter your PIN, and then what is this transaction for? Do you want to withdraw? Do you want to deposit? Then you say withdraw, which accounts? Like, it operates on its own. There's no one there standing around manning the system and looking at you, right? You just go in, it takes you from step 1, 2, 3, and next thing you know, you are, you have your money in hand, right? So this is going to be really important. And if any business you're running now and you're thinking of franchising, just say, can I effectively train others to use my system? Can I duplicate me? Can somebody else run the system? So we do know that training is the cornerstone of successful franchising. You need to be able to teach your franchisees and their teams how to run the business effectively. Training should be thorough yet efficient to ensure your franchisees are ready to hit the ground running. And it's important because a lot of time you have to make sure that your franchisees have the skills and knowledge they need to run their businesses successfully. And if the skills are too specialized, too difficult to teach, it could definitely limit your franchise growth. And you're going into franchising because you want to grow. So we are going to just make sure we're not in the business of limiting growth. We go into franchising because you want to expand your business. Franchising is because you want to grow. Franchising is you want to duplicate your system and expand beyond 1, 2 locations. And maybe you want to expand across the country and you want to go global. And franchising is one of the fastest growth method that most people don't really even think about or know. When you have your locations, you're like, I want to grow a second location or third. You only think about it for yourself. You think about going to the bank. And if the bank says no, what do you do? Franchising, most people are using their own money. So what a way to grow and expand using other people's money. Next question you would have to ask yourself is that, are my products and services well liked? And some people expanded through franchising because your products and services were so well liked. People would come to their locations and say, hey, I want to, you should have your products in my state. We don't have one of these where I live. And so the marketplace will help you determine also about franchising, if you should go into this, if you should do this route and expand, because sometimes there's a lot of lineups around your product. There is a cult following around what you're doing, and people will actually say, I want this in my city. I am willing to open the next location. Or sometimes people are just coming in and asking you, is this a franchise? You guys should franchise. So you have to also listen to the marketplace and see how your clients are reacting. And that was similar to how Five Guys became a franchise. The burgers were so good. People were wanting it. There's another product, I think, there's a Subway, a sub sandwich brand where people were coming in, buying the subs and taking it home when they're traveling. And it was happening over and over. And so they decided that it was time for them to turn their business into a franchise. So the quality of your products and services is essential for franchise success. The customers need to see your offerings as valuable and worth paying for, and consistent customer satisfaction. People are coming to you, so really think about it. And then the big one is, can my business financial support franchise expansion? This is a part where most people don't really want to talk about a lot because they get nervous around it, but your business financials should support franchise expansion. So a successful franchise needs to ensure profitability both for the franchisor and the franchisee. I'll repeat that. A successful franchise needs to ensure profitability for both the franchisor and the franchisees. So this involves understanding the financial requirements, ensuring that franchisees can achieve a good return on investment. So this is super, super important. Your business must be successful. You must be getting a healthy return, a healthy profit in order for you now to say to someone, yes, you should invest in my company. You should buy this business. No one wants to invest in a failing brand and a losing business, because most people going into franchising, they're leaving good paying jobs, with guaranteed income, and they're coming because they want to have entrepreneurial success, and financial success is also a part of it. So you have to make sure that you are able to provide and support your franchisees and show them how to become successful. Most franchise brands will provide what's called an item 19, and the item 19 is where it shows the profitability of the franchise system, how the top 25, the middle 25% are doing. So money, money, money. Yes, if you're looking at franchising, make sure you're making money. And once you franchise your system, you have to make sure you're also going to be having extra money to train those people, to have to provide programs for them so that they can become better at what they're actually doing, and better in the system. So it just doesn't end, they franchise, and then they're going to need you more and more once they have franchised their business. So franchising your business is a great possibility for you, and people look into franchising for many reasons. We know the great McDonald's, and why did Ray Kroc decide to franchise McDonald's? Because basically, this is what he said. For me, franchising wasn't just about business growth, it was about sharing a vision. Ray said he saw franchising as a way to spread McDonald's commitment to quality and service, giving others the chance to be part of something extraordinary. Now, you have a business that you've been running. You can see something special in it. You can see something that is extraordinary in your business model. And now, if you see that, it is time for you to consider one of the greatest expansion methods that's out there. That is franchising, so that you can give other people an opportunity to learn more about your product, in order for them, instead of them trying to start their own business from scratch, perhaps they want to go with what you already have. They want to use your business model, and they say, hey, you've made this a success. I want to buy into what you've already built. And in return, they're going to pay you royalties that will range from 3% all the way up to 20%, and advertising fees as well. So why not go for it? Be that next visionary and the next brand who makes it big across the world. And I hope that is going to be you. So all the best. And I cannot wait for the next episode. If you would like a copy of the list of what we went through, send us an email at bbfranchiseagency@gmail.com and just say, I need to franchise your business document, and we will get that sent to you. Now, make it a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.